What's up, guys? Welcome back to Starting Out Solitary. It's Drew here. This is week 242, and we are discussing healing magic. Now, when I first sat down to make this video, I thought, I don't really do a lot of healing magic. But the more that I thought about it, the more I realized that's not true. It's just about how we define magic as to whether or not I'm doing healing magic or not. As far as I'm concerned, I actually do quite a bit of healing magic. Doing candle magic for healing is something I do somewhat regularly. If someone's not feeling well, I'll light a candle of a specific color that I think is helpful, or I will incorporate herbs and oils and all other kinds of things, petitions and incantations and whatever, be as complex or as simplistic as I feel is necessary in any given situation. That's the only thing I could think of at first. But then I started thinking about some other things that I do. And of course, there are a myriad of things that I don't even do that can be done for healing magic. The thing that came to mind pretty quickly was kitchen witchery. It's not something that I do a lot of, not intentionally anyway. But there are times when I'm sick or someone I love is sick that I may cook with intention. And not just cooking with intention, I'm usually feeding Reiki into the food. And that got me thinking, for me, I don't separate healing modalities that work based on manipulating energy from magic, because in both cases, I'm manipulating energy. So energy work is something that I do regularly. Now, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm doing magic while I'm doing it. Actually, I usually do it out of desperation when it's for myself anyway. I'll do it for my husband whenever. As a matter of fact, I'll do it for friends or whoever wants me to whenever. But I don't usually think to do it to myself. But if I have a migraine or something, a lot of times, especially if it's in the middle of the night and I'm trying to sleep, I will feed myself Reiki until I feel better, until I can fall asleep. And like I said, there are people who are real specific and technical who'd be like, well, that's not magic, or, but for me, you are manipulating spiritual energy. That's what you're doing when you do that kind of energy work. In my practice, that's not different. It's not. There are times when I will send what could be referred to as magical beings to people if I know that they're open to that kind of thing. And I will usually discuss it with them beforehand. I'm sending these beings to them to assist them in healing, obviously. This is where we get into sort of ethics. A lot of times I won't take it upon myself to do healing work for other people. Typically, there'll be a call put out, prayers and thoughts and, good wishes, good vibes and healing energy, whatever. And if I feel called to, I'll jump on. Or specifically, someone will say, hey, this is what's going on. Could you, light a candle or something, and I'll oblige. Or someone will say, I'm really worried about this thing with someone I love, whatever. And I'm like, well, how would you feel about me doing some work? I would be happy to do that. For my family, I think I don't really ask for healing stuff. I don't really ask. I'm just going to do it if I want to do it. When my mother went into the hospital right before she died and was diagnosed, I got a little dish of healing stones that had to do with cancer and brought them to her to have them in her room. And when she came home, brought them home with her. I will use crystal therapy sometimes when it comes for healing, particularly if it's a long-term issue, digestion, or, even metabolism, trying to speed up the metabolism, or chronic pain or addiction or something like that. I will go to crystals. But as far as the ethics of it goes, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I don't think that there's ever anything really wrong with trying to send someone healing, trying to do healing magic for someone. Having said that, I still prefer to have consent unless it's someone that I know well enough to know that they just wouldn't care, that they would want me to do that. I have a group of 3 witchy sisters and myself who talk pretty much every single day. And if one of them is not feeling well or something is going on, I will just be like, oh, I'm going to light a candle for you. Or I may not even say it right away. I'll be like, I did this thing, or I've been doing this thing for you, just because we're all witches and we're all friends and we all care about each other. And so we know that if if someone does do a working for the other, it's in their highest good, their best interest, and that it's to help and to be of benefit. So it's not really a thing. But as far as just somebody out in the general public, I'm not necessarily going to jump on doing a health spell. Having said that, if there were a ruler of a country or something that was beloved and they were ill, and people in that country decided, witches in that country decided to do healing magic for that elected official or celebrity of some sort, I honestly don't have any heartburn with it personally. Having said that, all that about the ethics, people do not heal until they're ready to heal. If I am not ready to heal, it doesn't matter what you do for me. It's not going to happen. If I'm not open and ready, if I haven't done whatever work is at the root cause, or I'm just ready to release it and move on, whatever it is, if I'm still blocking, it doesn't matter how powerful, 20 witches doing this magic on me is. If I'm not ready and I don't want it, even if consciously I want it, but unconsciously I don't. People are very complicated, and there are a lot of things going on in our psychology and our emotions and on a spiritual level. And so I can do magic all day long and throw it at people, but if they're not open and ready, it's not going to work anyway. So there's that to keep in mind as well. There are many types of magic that are thought of for, like banishing, for instance. You do banishing magic as healing magic. You're banishing an illness. I have a preservation jar that I keep to preserve health. There's many, many, many ways of doing healing magic. It doesn't have to be something that's just exclusively thought of as healing. I think healing magic, from my perspective, can be worked in any vein of magic, through any type of spell or whatever, in some capacity. It's all about how you look at it, how you twist it, your intention, and how you direct that energy. So I think I'm going to stop talking about this now because I could probably ramble on for quite a while. Yeah, my mind is still going on things like healing waters, like healing wells, holy wells, stuff like, there's so many ways things that I would categorize in this section of healing magic. So I think we're only limited by ourselves and how we think and how we perceive. And that's probably true of all magic, but I think in particular healing. Okay. I'm really going to stop now. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, much love and gratitude.